Hello. Oh goodness, there's not enough light. Let's find a way that we can get some more light in here. Hi everybody. Oh my goodness, I have not been live in a little while. Let's see if we can get a little bit more light. Here we go. All right. Hello everyone. Oh, maybe that's too much light. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll figure this out somehow. I know we can do this. All right, hopefully that's not too much light. Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to the Pagan Perspective. I am Megan, aka Spiritry. Hello. There's people jumping on. Am I too washed out? Is the light okay? I wanted to make sure that you guys could see me. Hi, I am well. So I am doing the first live of my new abode. So I moved. I moved from Maui, and now I live in Portland, Oregon. So doing the live thing and trying to make it work. I've got to figure out the new lighting situation, how it goes. But I thought I'd go live. Hopefully this time is a good time for everybody. I know in Maui it was always hard because of the time difference. So now maybe it's a little bit easier. So hello. All right. Well, we got people hopping on. So oh, great. Yay. All right. So hello, everybody. So we're talking about kind of how we were raised today. So I thought that would be cool. Medusa, you love Portland. Awesome. Very cool. I'm liking Portland too. It's cold. It snowed yesterday and I was freezing. So I've spent a little too much time in Maui, I think. So I definitely was a little bit cold. But it's been really awesome. The food has been amazing. And yeah, so it's been good. It's definitely been good. Let's see if might be able to. Ooh, now I feel like there's too much sun. Oh no! All right, yeah, let's move. We're just I'm gonna take you with me. This is sort of like, a journey. Is that any better? I don't know. All right, let's see here. How about up here? We can do this. I'll just do this standing, like old school. All right, there we go. Ah, you're like up on the mantle now. Hello, everybody. All right, so here's the deal today. We are talking about how we were raised. So, as many of you know, I was raised pagan. I was actually raised a witch, and I'm on my tippy toes. Because I've got you guys up on the mantle above the fireplace. So I'm just gonna try and be way up on my tiptoes. So I was born a witch, raised a witch, raised pagan. So we don't have a name for our path because this is a pre-Wicca, whatever is out there, Alexandrian, Gardenian, Asatru, like it's pre those. It's a family tradition, so it doesn't have a name. It's just the way. And there are specifics of it that if you've been watching me on this channel, you know that I can't get into. Part of that is kind of respecting my family members. And the other part of it is that it's just not something we do. We're very, very secretive about that. Always have been. It's part of our faith. So that's a little bit different. I said born a witch. Yes, I was born a witch. It's true. So I was conceived and born and I was a witch. And because I was raised to be a witch. I guess I could have decided not to be a witch. Absolutely. I could have chosen a different path. Some family members of mine chose to just stop practicing altogether. And I would say they no longer classify themselves as a witch, but that's their choice. So my choice was to stay with the way that I was raised and the way that I was brought up. So All right. Oh, from Colorado. Very cool. That's awesome. So I guess what I can go into is sort of some of the things that Eric was asking about was divination for one, and just sort of kind of a progression of our faith. And if you have been watching me, or if you follow me on my personal channel, one of the things is I like incorporating new things into my family's path. So my family's path is pretty specific. It's kind of one way of doing things, and there isn't a lot of imagination or creativity, so to speak. It is just sort of what it is. And maybe it's just because it was how I was raised. So I've been doing it since I was born. I mean, it's all I've ever known. So I think sometimes when I see these new pagan rituals and I hear about new gods and goddesses that I never knew about from different pantheons, I get really excited about them. And so I have incorporated some work with other gods and goddesses from different pantheons that I was never exposed to as a child. And I have incorporated them into my practice just to expand it and just to kind of keep things fresh and interesting and to do different things. So that is something that I like to do. And it's something that I'm constantly feel like I'm learning and constantly feel like I'm, you know, searching and finding new things. I just learned that there's, you know, a Norse mermaid goddess. How cool is that? I don't remember her name exactly now. I'll have to look it up. But I was just flipping through a book and literally saw that there's a Norse mermaid goddess. And if you don't know me, I'm a total mermaid, swim with a tail and everything. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see. Oh, very cool. All right. So there was a comment that was there and then was not there. So we'll go back to that. So as far as divination in my path goes, I definitely am a runes person. We did a whole video week, I think, on divination. Not sure. I think we did. And I think I actually showed you guys some of my things, but I'm not positive about that. We'll have to like go back and look. But runes are a huge part of my family's path. Runes are our primary form of divination. So I was brought up with runes. Now, what is on, I use the word runes because that's what most people would associate with what they are symbols carved into small, in our cases, rock. But sometimes it could be crystals, sometimes it could be wood, it could be any number of things. Pewter, I have a set of pewter runes. So the symbols, though, that are carved into them are different than your classic like Celtic or Norse runes. So that is a little bit different. And that's special for my path. But I love runes. I think runes are amazing. And as I grew older, I began to expand and I began to bring in different runes from different cultures. And I mean, there's so many different ways to throw the bones, so to speak. And I just think it's so neat and so fascinating. Also, I love tarot. I got into tarot when I was in high school. So it was something that, you know, there was always card reading. We always had different types of divination that we could kind of work with and different card reading, but it wasn't the kind of classic tarot that we're used to with a major and minor arcana. And, you know, so I kind of got into Rider-Waite, started off with that, and did a couple of other things. I did show you guys I think I showed you guys some of my really, really old tarot decks, super, super old from family members and people. So definitely check those out, the divination video, if you're interested in seeing some of those. But yeah. Ooh, from Ireland, but in South Carolina now. Glenn, that's awesome. I spent 2 weeks in Ireland when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I loved it. It was awesome. The only thing that I will say, the only thing that was weird was the ketchup. The ketchup in Ireland was so vinegary. Like, it was not American ketchup. And as a 12-year-old, I was very confused by that. And I was convinced that if we went to a store and bought Heinz ketchup, it would be the same. And sure enough, we did. and it was still vinegary. So they must have a different formula for Ireland or something. I'm not sure. But it was the ketchup. I couldn't get over the ketchup. So, but I loved everything. Kissed the Blarney Stone, did all of those things. Loved it. And I want to get back there, definitely. But I do viscerally remember how vinegary the ketchup was. So it must be Irish taste buds or something. You guys like it to be a little more vinegary. But yeah, so very cool though in South Carolina. That's awesome. So yeah, so for divination, that's pretty much it. I would say I do a lot of astral travel. And so that's sort of one of my favorite things. I spend a lot of time actually on the water plane. So for me, I have a really strong connection with water, and I spend a lot of time with water elementals. So I have a bunch on my back. And that's sort of my primary thing that I am connected to. But as far as divination goes, yeah, I would say runes and tarot would be my go-tos. I definitely love all different types of divination though. Scrying I've tried before, and I think it's really powerful. I didn't have a natural affinity for it, so I haven't really like continued that. But I definitely think people who have a natural affinity for it, it's so powerful. It's really amazing. Let's see. Oh, Medusa says, going to Maui on the 24th. Anything I have to see? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're going to Maui. Congrats. That's awesome. Okay. So many things you have to see. Lavender Farm, one of my favorite places. Upcountry Maui. The Lavender Farm is amazing. Love it. Let's see, what other things? I would definitely like go to McKenna Landing and snorkel there and see all the honu. Like there's so many amazing things. Go to Twin Falls, go to the Oahu Gulch, go to see the bamboo forest, but you got to do the full hike if you really want to see the real bamboo forest. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. Absolutely, lots of fun stuff. It's awesome. It's really, really awesome. Definitely have a Safeway card. Only get your gas at Costco because everywhere else will rip you off. Mana Foods is a great place to get produce, fresh produce, if you can't get to a farmer's market. But honestly, the cheapest place to get most groceries is either Walmart or Target, FYI. I was born Christian, but I always felt pagan and Wiccan. Oh, very cool. Awesome. Thank you, Glenn. Beastmaster, that's very, very cool. Yeah, so many people have come up to me and said that they felt like they were born pagan. And in fact, my wife is one of those people. She was born and raised Catholic. And when we met, it was at a Samhain event, this place in New Hampshire. It's an event called Celebrate Samhain, and all my friends run it, and our speakers there, and I was doing henna at it, and she just came and she was getting henna from me, and that's how we met. And she is now pagan, and it's really amazing because she feels like she always was. She was just sort of trapped in what she always knew and what she was raised at, and she loved the ritual. For her, being Catholic, she liked the ritual. She liked the incense. She liked the formalness, the ceremony, which she still gets being a pagan, and yet it makes so much more sense to her now. So I think that's really cool. And then we have, what is a star? I think we've got that question coming up. A star is like, it's spring, it's renewal, but I don't want to give too much away on like what Ostara specifically is, because I think we have that question coming up in like another week or so. I'm not positive. So I don't want to like, I don't want to do a week in the future. So, but it's a great question. Yeah, so I would say, but I wanted to keep this as a little bit shorter today just because I've got like a million things to do. If you can see, and if you were just tuning in, I did move from Maui. So now I'm in cold and snowy Portland. But the food is amazing. It's awesome. We're in a new place right now. We don't know how long we'll be here, though. We're trying to look for a more kind of permanent place. This is just temporary for now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, if there was any other questions about how I was raised or the divination side, I'll be happy to answer those. I had to, if it's a weird position, I had to put you up on the mantle above the fireplace because the light was so weird. And so I'm standing and I'm trying to stand on my tippy toes. So I'm not like too short. But yeah, I was born into it. I think that's probably all. I mean, I obviously understood about being Christian. Everybody around me, pretty much, if they weren't Jewish, they were probably Christian. And everybody I went to school with, stuff like that. So, it's a mainstream religion. Their music is on the radio in December. Their the way that Christian people get married is in every single romantic comedy or romantic movie, right? It's that whole "to death do you part," and the whole way that they get married, right? It's not my faith. It's marriage isn't till death do you part, because we reincarnate, and your souls are bonded together and they move on together. So there's so many things that mainstream religion it impedes your life. And so there's no way to not know it. There's no way to not know what's going on in the Christian world. It's just a matter of feeling like being the minority and, not having access to things that you might need or you might want, having to, have your parent call you in sick to school for a holiday, and have to kind of do that lying thing because, if you were to say it was for a religious holiday, they might give you questions or something out of school. Especially when you're younger, it can be really hard. I know for me, I had to learn that lesson the hard way. So yeah, it was difficult. High school was definitely difficult for me. I did come out as a witch in, I think the first time I told people was in kindergarten. I'd be like, "I'm a witch." And then I was like, "No, don't say that," but kids didn't really pick up on it at that point. It wasn't really until middle school that it started getting bad. And, and I even had a teacher once that was really bad. The teacher was awful. So the kids were teasing me, calling me a witch. And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Like, "What's the problem with that?" And they were laughing and stuff. And the teacher, literally, my English teacher, and I'll never forget her name either, but it's just, still makes me mad to this day. Literally, all the kids are teasing me. And the teacher, English teacher in the middle class says, "She's not a witch, she's a bitch." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was seriously in 7th grade. 7th grade. And a teacher did this. So, I was in a locker room once and they turned off all the lights and yelled, "Fly, Megan, fly." So there's still a lot of discrimination out there. It's definitely gotten better as I've gotten older. And I think as times are kind of changing too, this was growing up in a really, really country bumpkin town in New Hampshire. So, I mean, we lived on a dirt road, like a mile from the nearest neighbor. So part of that is where I lived as well. But people are writing, "My percent being a witch or pagan is positive. Christians will never accept you as positive." Oh, Blood Raven. Oh, well, I wouldn't call myself a Satanist because I'm not a Satanist. I have friends who are Satanists, and they're awesome. They're super cool. But I would never call myself a Satanist because that's not who I am. For me, I really always am truthful. Like, I can't not be, even when it was my own downfall of being persecuted against, I needed to speak my truth and I needed to be out and proud about that. Ironically, it took me a long time to come out as gay, but that wasn't about that. That was my own internalized stuff. So, you know, it's something I think that everyone has to wrestle with on their own. Sometimes it's like, for me, it sucked. It absolutely sucked, and I was bullied. But I never truly feared for my life, like on a daily basis. There's been moments like coming out of certain situations with certain people that I've been scared. But on a daily basis, I wasn't afraid for my life. Where some people, if they were to come out as pagan, they would fear for their life. And it totally, like, if you need to stay in the broom closet, it's your life, like, or even just if you don't feel ready, like, that's your choice. You coming out as anything needs to be your call. If you do it at all, not a when you do it, just an if. It's totally your choice to come out in any capacity. So this was just the way that I did things. And there were times where I regretted it. There were absolutely times where I regretted being kind of out about my religion. I think part of my experience is why it took me so long to come out as gay, because it was so hard for me as a witch being in school and getting bullied so much. It was like, oh my gosh, if I say this other thing that I am, I'm going to get bullied even more. And it's going to be awful. Like, I'm done. This one's already out of the bag. This is my religion, but man, I'm not saying anything else because it's going to come down on me like a ton of bricks. So, hello from Wisconsin. Yes. So, Fairy Lover, I'm maybe 33 is your age. So I'm 36. So yeah. So maybe we're around the same age. It definitely was a little bit different. It's that 90s kid thing, 90s were that weird time where it's like everything was starting to become okay. And we were starting to understand bullying and stuff like that, but still was a tough time to be a kid and to be different, okay, you guys are talking to each other. Oh, the Satanist thing. Yeah, no, not all Satanists believe in Satan. Some Luciferians do worship Satan and some don't. Some are different. So there's a whole like world of that. And I'm actually not incredibly versed in it. I have some friends who that's their path, and that's awesome. But I have no idea about the intricacies. I just know that there are some Satanists who actually worship Satan, or maybe Luciferians is what they're called. But and then there's some Satanists who don't, who are just more, the Church of Satan, and then the Satanist Temple or something. There's a couple of different ones out there. So, and they're very different. I highly recommend researching them because there are major differences. Yeah. Oh, so Fairy Lover, you're older. See, 46. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but it's that time frame though, like 80s, 90s, you know what I mean? It was really difficult. So, Blood Raven, I agree. Very complex, very interesting. Oh my gosh, guys, I've been on for 23 minutes. This is crazy. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. So yeah, so that was today. If you like these lives, give it a thumbs up, and I try to do one like every couple of months, maybe every month if it ends up working out. But I've been trying to do it at least every other month. Yes, Glenn. Oh, good. Oh, good. Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for commenting and being here and watching. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So I think that's all for today. I will try and do more lives, and yeah, I think that's it. I'm bouncing because I'm standing and I'm trying to I don't know. Do any of you have that? Like, I can't just stand still. I can sit still, but I can't stand still. I don't know. I get bouncy. It's just, sorry. I'm a little bit sugared up today. So, all right, guys, that is about it. As always, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. We're on Thursdays now, so I can't say weekend. You still have Friday to go, but at least, thank Goddess, it is Friday tomorrow. So And I wish you all well. I will see you next week. I don't think I'll be doing a live next week, but I can't remember what the topic is. Maybe I'll do a live. Let me know with the thumbs up if you want these lives more often. And yeah, I think that'll be it. All right, I will say goodbye to you all. I'm still going to say aloha because I still am feeling the Maui in my heart right now. Might take me a little while to get rid of that, but yeah. So as always, blessed be and aloha. Bye, everyone.